Hello everyone. Once again, welcome all of you to Super Coaching UPSC by Testbook. This is Venkatesh, your faculty for geography. So as part of our mapping series, you all know that glaciers constitute a very important thing for our water resources in our country. So a question on that can always be expected from UPSC. So as part of that, I have taken the major glaciers of India. I've identified them and I'll try to discuss in this video where you'll get a certain understanding of what are the important glaciers and how does UPSC actually prepare questions out of that. So that's the idea, right? So without much wastage of time, let's see the things. Shubham, Jai Hind, kaise ho? How are you doing? Yes, how are you doing, Shubham? Right. Okay. So let's start with the glaciers, understanding of the glaciers, the major glaciers of the Himalayas. What is a glacier? What is a glacier according to the conceptual understanding? What do you mean by glacier? Right? You can see it's nothing but an ice. You can see glacier is a bulk of ice moving under its own weight. Glacier is nothing but bulk of ice. So it's like an ice flowing river, right? So glacier is a bulk of ice moving under its own weight, formed due to accumulations of what snow above the snow line, or rather ice, accumulation of ice above the snow line under extreme cold climates. Yes. Can you explain what is a snow line here? What is the snow line? Can you explain? Anyone? Can you explain what is the snow line here? Snow line is the line beyond which there is a forever snow, perpetual snow. For example, if this is a mountain, this would be the snow line where there would be perpetual snow forever there. That means the temperatures would be hovering around 0 degrees Celsius until there. Beyond that, everything is minus. So that is the snow line. Now, for a glacier to be developed, there has to be so many conditions. Temperatures has to be near freezing point, right? See, what is a glacier? We know that it's a bulk of ice. How does ice develops? We know. With altitude, temperature decreases, and that is where whenever ice forms because of precipitation, that accumulations of ice is what turns into a glacier. For glaciers to occur, there are so many things which we need to have climatologically. Once temperature has to be above freezing point, then they accumulate more ice accumulation in winter. Third, they also need to have temperatures in such a way in summer. Summer temperatures are not that high to lose the entire ice. Yes, we all know that summer temperatures would increase. You all know that sometimes summer temperatures in the upper portions can be above 0 degrees Celsius, where the melting of ice can happen. That can happen. But we have to make it sure that, overall, for a glacier to survive, it should be just that input and output. The output of ice which is generated in the winter, or rather the input of ice which is generated in the winter, should not be lesser than the output, right? The output, the ones which is lost as part of the summer, you have to always make it sure if it is a situation in such a way that where the ice is not that much losing in summer and you are having decent amount of ice which is accumulating in the winter, that means the glacier is at a very, very good life space. But unfortunately, under climate change, under human-made activities, you have seen in the last few years, now you can say a few decades as well, such things are not the case. The majority of the ice where you will find more in the glaciers of the Arctic and the Antarctic, which we call it as a continental glacier, that is, they spread across the entire continent, they are very, very high, they are melting. You are also finding a high altitude glacier like the Himalayas, where you call it as the third pole of the world because of the kind of lesser temperatures you have. This third pole, here you are finding that temperatures are also quite low. Temperatures are quite low, but it is changing because of man-made activities. We need to study about all those kind of things, right? So let's study about those things. Yeah, one more point. You need to see these glaciers. See this point. In India, when you talk about glaciers of India, majority of them are, altitude glaciers, mountain glaciers, not continental glaciers. Continental glaciers is which spread across vast stretches of the land like you find in Arctic, Antarctic, not in India, right? So though there are 15,000 glaciers in the Himalayas, which covers an area of Himalayas is covering an area of 5 lakh square kilometers, right? About 30,000 square kilometers is covered by snow, and you need to understand that the snow line from the eastern Himalayas in Arunachal Pradesh is very different from the Himalayas in the western Himalayas. So the snow line, the lowest level of perpetual snow, it varies with respect to the latitude. That is the reason why you need to understand western Himalayas with respect to eastern Himalayas. Then the amount of precipitation might also vary. Local topography might also vary. All these things will have a distinction in terms of our formations of our glaciers. So let us try to understand how do we need to prepare about glaciers. Before you need to prepare about these glaciers, see how does UPSC asks a question. Can you answer this question, all of you? Read this question carefully. Can you answer this? Yes. Anyone, can you answer this carefully? Or should I answer? Read it quickly so that I can answer it. Okay. You see here, what is the approach they are following? What is the approach they are following? I want you to follow what is the kind of questions they are asking. That's what I am asking here. Whenever they ask about any kind of a glacier, they can ask you about the nearby, from the mapping point of view, they can ask you from the nearby what is the mountain range they are part of, say like Karakoram range, say like lesser Himalayas, greater Himalayas. Definitely Shivalik's altitude is not that high. So it would be the greater Himalayas, Tibetan Himalayas, or the lesser Himalayas. They can ask you about the mountain range like Pir Panjal range, like the Karakoram range. They can ask you about that. They can ask you about the river which is originating from that particular glacier, as you see this question. They can also ask you about another thing about the nearby valleys. Nearby valleys. Sometimes the valleys and the rivers might be similar. The names are similar, but sometimes it is not the case. So you have to see in any glacier question from this aspect. So next time when you study say Siachen Glacier, where it is located, what is a mountain range, any river nearby it, any valley nearby it, that is how you have to approach. Gangotri Glacier, name itself very simple, Gangotri, Ganga Glacier. That is very easy. But other things, that is where you have to get the trick. So next time when you study about glaciers, remember mountain range, river and valley. Am I clear all of you on this? Am I clear you on this? Right, good. Right. Now you see this question, the right answer is 1, 2 and 4. Bandarpunch, Yamuna is right. Barashigri, Chenab is right. Milam is not part of the Mandakini. It is not here, right? Siachen Nubra Valley is right. Zemu is located in the eastern Himalayas, but not at the Manas. So if you have seen it here, if you know that Siachen Nubra, very, very prominent center of the glacier, very much in news because of the India-Pakistan conflict and highest battleground of the world. Maybe if you have known Nubra Valley, Siachen and all, even from that, you should have got between A and B as the options. Siachen Nubra Valley is the most easiest option given here. From that, you should have gone for A and B. Then you have to think whether 2 is right or 3 is right. You have to check it. So that is how sometimes the options would be working. I will explain about these things in the question. I am just giving you a perspective. So let us talk about one of the top glacier, the Siachen Glacier itself. So if you see the Siachen Glacier, you can look at the names, the places. You can see the Shok River. This is the river. The tributary of the Shok, which is a Nubra River. This is a valley, and this is where you will find the Siachen Glacier. So Siachen Glacier, the Shok River, the Nubra Valley, part of the Indus. These are all the tributaries of Indus. You know, Indus tributary is Shok, Shok's tributary is Nubra. So Siachen Glacier is located where in the north, and what kind of a mountain range it is? If you see, it is the located in the longest glacier part of the Karakoram and second longest in the world, in the non-polar areas in the world. Yeah, you do find something in the Pamirnaut mountains. You do find one of the longest mountain glacier. Okay, so just above that, in the Turkmenistan and all, there you do find one of the longest glacier. But if you see here, Siachen, longest glacier, one of second longest in the world, Karakoram, Karakoram range, that is the mountain range. You all know the Trans Himalayas or the Tibetan Himalayas are represented in India through Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar range. This is the Karakoram range. Right. Then this area was once part of the Himalayan trade path, Silk Route that connected China with the Middle East. Indian subcontinent is extensively glaciated portion of the Karakoram, sometimes called as the third pole. Whatever, I want you to remember, Siachen Glacier is located north of the Nubra Valley, and this Nubra is a tributary of Shok, mountain range is Karakoram, and you all know by the geopolitical concerns, it is the highest battlefield fought between India and China, India and Pakistan, and you will get that access. If you are controlling the Siachen Glacier, you will getting that access on the Karakoram highway. So whoever gain control of this, Karakoram highway will be under their control. That is the strategic importance of the Siachen Glacier. Right. Yes, Nanda, I hope you are getting this. Parthananda, you got it? So this is about the Siachen Glacier I want you to remember. Then you see, very south of that, maybe not a glacier, but this Nubra Valley, just south of the Siachen Glacier, you do find Nubra Valley. This Nubra Valley, it is the gateway to the strategically important Siachen Glacier and the Karakoram Pass, mountain pass. And this is located in the northwest, the Karakoram Pass on the northwestern side connects the valley with Xinjiang of China. You all know this is the Xinjiang of China. This is the Aksai Chin. This is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, the Gilgit-Baltistan region, Baltistan, Gilgit and all. And the Chinese region is the Xinjiang Valley. I think recently the Belt Road Initiative, which was started by China, India is rejecting because it is entering into the territorial of India, where Pakistan has ceded to China. You see, territory ceded by Pakistan to China. This is the region. This is the conflicted region. Belt and Road Initiative passes through this. So for all this control, Nubra Valley is the connecting point. That's where Nubra is very, very important. So that's why they are asking this question. Nubra River is a river in the Nubra Valley of Ladakh in India, tributary of the Shok River. So just Siachen, next time I want you to remember Siachen, Karakoram, Nubra Valley, Nubra River, tributary of Shok. Right. Let's move forward to the next question now. Next one. You can see this. This is the Karakoram mountain range. Eastern Karakoram, Western Karakoram, Central Karakoram. This is the entire Karakoram range. You can see so many other things. Just to the right of the Siachen, you have another glacier. To the right of the Siachen glacier, you have another glacier called as Baltoro glacier. So I just want you to locate it. Where is this Baltoro? Just very near to the south of that, we have the Bifo glacier. All these are located between the Karakoram ranges. This is the what I want you to remember, Baltoro range and all those things. So this is another important valley, Baltoro range, located to the north of Siachen, to the west of Siachen glacier. Right. Then as you go into the south, you have the Milam glacier, a major glacier in the Kumaun mountains. Kumaun mountains, you can see this Milam glacier in the Uttarakhand region. So this is the Kumaun mountains, very, very near to the point of Nanda Devi National Park. You can see here Nanda Devi. Very near to this, you find the Milam glacier. Right. This is another important glacier. Then you see, when you talk about Uttarakhand, there are two important places which are very, very important from the map. The northern part of the Uttarakhand is called as Garhwal Himalayas. Southern part is called the Kumaun Himalayas. Kumaun. Northern part is Garhwal. So when you see, they can ask you questions about it is part of which range. For example, Ganga, the important glacier of our country, the important river of our country, originates from the Gangotri glacier, one of the primary sources of the Ganges river, originating in the Uttarakhand, Gangotri glacier. You see, altitude 4,100 meters above mean sea level, a very, very decent amount of height, right? Then you see here, and this Gangotri glacier, it is part of which region? Whether it is Garhwal or whether it is Kumaun. You can see it is nearer to the Garhwal ranges. So this is part of here, Garhwal. So Gangotri, Garhwal Himalayas, and you all know important trekking center, important religious center being part of the Chota Chardham Yatra, right? So Gangotri Glacier. Recently, Gangotri Glacier is in news for what? Anyone? Its melting rate is increasing, melting faster. You know what is the reason? Reason? What is the reason for melting of the glacier of Gangotri? Accumulations of black carbon. Black carbon is a material, black carbon is a residue of burning of the forest fires, burning of the forest, or it is because of the forest fires, or else even because of the, you know, the basic biomass burning which we do. You take a wood of a region, you burn that wood for heat and all, or whatever the incomplete combustion whichever is being done in the plains or in the Himalayas, where you burn it for heat, or else from the forest fires. Incomplete combustion and all, black carbon is an element which is released. It is a short-lived climatic pollutant, but it has higher amount of, you know, higher amount of greenhouse gas absorption, which is leading to melting of glaciers. Please remember, black carbon, it is short-lived. That means what? It will stay there only for 2-3 months. That's it. But within those 3 months, it has highest capacity to act as a greenhouse gas, and it will be actually helping in the melting of the glaciers very, very quickly. This is the importance of the black carbon. So Gangotri glacier, you can understand about that. Then as you move north further, you can see as you move to the south, see I have given some of the major maps here. You can see here Zemu glacier, very, very located near the, you know, Kanchenjunga. You can see here. This is Zemu glacier, Sikkim Nepal border, Kanchenjunga. This is also an important glacier in the eastern Himalayas, largest glacier in the eastern Himalayas, located at the base of Kanchenjunga in the Himalayan region of Sikkim, India. Very, very sick. Kanchenjunga, you all know it. It is located at India-Nepal border in Sikkim. Right. So Zemu Glacier drains the eastern side of Kanchenjunga, the world's third highest mountain. You know it, the third highest mountain after Everest, then the K2, and then this. Then the glacier is a source of water for numerous rivers. One of them is the Tista River. So Tista River is very, very near to the Zemu Glacier. This is the learnings. This is one more point. Then when you talk about other glacier, say for example, another glacier, remember I told you about the Yamuna, I forgot there, Bandarpunch Glacier. Bandarpunch Glacier, part of the Garhwal division of the Himalayas in Uttarakhand, part of the Sankhari range, Govind Pashu Vihar. You can ignore these kind of things. Just remember Yamuna River, Garhwal mountain division of the Himalayas, Yamuna River, Bandarpunch Glacier, Uttarakhand area. This is the location of Bandarpunch. Right? Right, all of you? These are the important glaciers which I want you to remember. Then I have given you the entire list here. You can see here, entire list. Baifu, K2, Baltoro. So Baltoro Glacier, Siachen Glacier, okay, Sunapani Glacier, which is part of the Pir Panjal range. Sunapani Glacier is one important one, right? Then you can talk about, Hisper Glacier, another bigger glacier here. These are all located in the Karakoram range. Hisper is located in Karakoram range, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Technically from India's map, Ladakh now, right? Then you can see here, Pindari Glacier is one, Pindari Glacier, right? Then Satopanch Glacier, just south of, just east, the eastern of Gangotri Glacier, Satopanch Glacier. Just now we have discussed the Milam Glacier. You can see here, Bandarpunch, Gangotri, Satopanch, all are part of the Garhwal Himalayas, whereas Milam is part of the Kumaun Himalayas. Then you can see here, down here, very near to the Kanchenjunga Glacier, Zemu Glacier. Zemu Glacier. These are all the mappings of the glaciers I want you to remember. In fact, what I would like to assess you is, draw the map of India, identify these glaciers from this picture. Then next, each glacier based on the prominence in news, which mountain range, rivers, valleys, observe it. You are ready from this topic for the preparation. That is from the mapping point of view. Then the second point, anything associated with, melting, anything associated with the melting of the glaciers, anything associated with, glacial lake, outburst, flood, these becomes very, very important for our preparation, right? These are the things you need to identify from the glaciers, right? You see here, you see this article. This article is taken from the Down to Earth magazine, where they are identifying the terminal retreat. Most Himalayan basins lost 21 to 30% of their glacier cover in the 40 years. So they are talking about how the glacial retreat, that is the melting of glaciers happening because of climate change, which glaciers in news, they have given a perspective. So this was an old article. I'm just giving an idea of how to prepare. Next time when anything associated with melting of glaciers becomes very much in news, leading to glacial lake outburst, flood, automatically that becomes important for our preparation. Why do you think that they ask sometimes map-based questions? Maybe from that perspective as well, right? So these are the things. If you want this PDF file, you can get into my Telegram channel. In this weekend, I'll have an interactive session with you where I will be having a session directly discussing the topics with you. We can have the discussion so that you can all learn. You can meet with me virtually and ask your questions. So for that timing and all, you can get into the Telegram channel. And if you want this PDF file as well, you can get into the Telegram channel. Right then, all of you. Thank you. Hope you all have learned this. Have a good time. We'll see you again with a new topic. Until then, have a good time. Happy learnings. Thank you. Thank you.